Hey, family, welcome back to my desk. Dr. Dandridge here. Listen, people are putting their DoorDash Starbucks orders on buy now, pay later. Let's have the conversation about it, okay? All right, family, today we're talking about something you probably saw during your last online shopping trip. Afterpay, Klarna, Sezzle, and all the other buy now, pay later services. They're everywhere. You can walk out the virtual store nowadays with new shoes, electronics, even groceries without paying a dime up front. But here's the real question. What does the Bible say about this? Is this good stewardship or just dressed up debt? Stick with me because by the end of today's conversation, you actually might change how you click the button checkout. If you've ever used buy now, pay later and thought, I'll figure it out later, this conversation is just for you. So let's break it down. Buy now, pay later services like Afterpay let you split a purchase into smaller payments, often interest free if you pay on time. The hook, you can get what you want today without the full financial weight. Now, yes, there are pros and cons. The pros, no interest, usually. Easy access to purchases. Can help in emergencies when budgets are tight. The cons, there are hidden fees. It encourages impulse spending. It also makes budgeting harder long term and often leads to what many people are showing accumulated debt across multiple services. Buy now, pay later is seductive because it feels like freedom, but it may actually be a quiet form of bondage, financially and spiritually. Let's go to the word. The book of Proverbs, the 22nd chapter and the 7th verse says, the rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is slave to the lender. That's not just poetic, it's prophetic. When we borrow, even in a slick digital way, we step into servitude. The book of Romans, the 13th chapter and the 8th verse says, let no debt remain outstanding except the continuing debt to love one another. What Paul is telling us in the Roman church is that the best credit line is love, not layaway. Then we also have inside the book of Luke, the 14th chapter and the 28th verse, where it says, suppose one of you wants to build a tower. Won't you first sit down and estimate the cost? That's financial planning, y'all. And it encourages us don't just swipe, but strategize our finances. See, buy now, pay later might help for a moment, but is a temporary fix and oftentimes might also lead us into spiritual traps. I want to ask you, what if every financial decision became a spiritual one too? Here's where we shift from guilt to growth because faithful finance inside of a now culture is hard. Jesus talked more about money than almost any other subject in the Bible, not to shame us, but to shape us. Being a good steward isn't about saying no to everything. It's about saying yes to the right things at the right time. I want you to ask yourself before using Afterpay, is this a need or a want? Do I have a plan to repay this? And have I prayed about this purchase? See, sometimes we hide financial habits behind convenience, but God doesn't just want your tithe, He also wants your trust. Every transaction you make is a reflection of the trust you place in God and also inside of your own hustle. And it is indicative how we buy, how we purchase, ultimately where our trust lies. So there is a better way. It does involve budgeting, it does involve discipline, but it also gives us freedom. I want you to know that you don't have to be rich to be responsible. There are so many different tools for biblical and financial discipline. You've got budgeting apps like Every Dollar and YNAB. You've got things that you can do like Sabbath spending. This is where you take one day a week where you don't buy anything. You've got scripture journaling about your purchases. You've got accountability partners that you can call on to talk through some of these bigger buys and these bigger purchases. Here's the thing. There are tools out there for you to have the discipline. And let me say this clearly. God isn't against you enjoying nice things. Don't hear that. God is against you being owned by them. I want you to use money. Don't let money use you. Okay? So, to answer the question, is buy now, pay later a sin? Not necessarily, but it's not always wise either. The Bible teaches us to count the cost, to live within our means, and to trust God as our source, not Afterpay. If today's conversation made you think differently about your next purchase, I want you to do this. Subscribe. Share this with someone who you know is living that swipe and pray lifestyle. And then also put inside of the comments. Do me a favor, put something inside of the comments. I want you to answer the question, what's one financial decision you want to take to God this week before you click the Afterpay button? Okay? Thank you for joining my desk. I'm Dr. Dandridge. Until next time, I want to remind you that wisdom is wealth, stewardship is spiritual, and freedom is found in our faith and can also be found inside of our finances.